I just wanted to share a few of my quick tips that I do for fixing holiday dinners or everyday dinners. I'm practically fixing the entire Christmas dinner in the Power Pressure Cooker XL. And right now what I've got is 3 sweet potatoes, and I set it on the chicken meat selection and I just let them cook. This year I did not even cut the skin off of them. This time I've just placed the sweet potatoes into the Power Pressure Cooker XL, and it's going to be cooking on the chicken setting, and I'll let you know how that works out, but it usually works out really well. Usually what I do is I cut all the skin off the potatoes and then put them in here, but I'm sure this is going to work out well. But I just want to let you know a few of the quick tips that I do to cook the holiday dinners. There's another quick tip that I wanted to share with everyone too. This is a Butterball 8-pound turkey. So what I do is I get 2 pans from Dollar Tree or your grocery stores, and this is a smaller pan. So what I do is I go ahead and prepare the turkey in this pan, and then I'm going to place the turkey into a very large pan to cook it. So I'll let you know how I do that in just a few moments so that you'll see that. But this is one of the smaller pans, and you see what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and prepare the turkey in this pan, place it into a larger pan for cooking. That way I do not dirty up the counter space, and I certainly don't want to do that in my sink. I just don't like that. There's just so much, I just don't like it. So what I do is I use the 2 pans to prepare the turkey. So I'll be sharing real quickly in just a few moments how this works out. So what I do is I cut the plastic around about this area here, and then I slide the plastic covering off of the turkey. I just slide it off with the knife, and then this is what we have in the pan. So now I have a Ziploc bag. I'm going to turn it inside out, and I'm going to clean out the turkey real quick, and we'll be right back. So if you turn the Ziploc plastic bag inside out, place it on your hand, you can go and clean out the turkey really quickly. You're not going to mess up your hands, and then when you get all of this out, you can then fold the plastic bag, Ziploc it at the top, and you will not have anything on your hands or on your kitchen counters. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, and I'll be right back. Okay, you see how this is working out? I've got it in my hand here. I'm going to invert the plastic bag, Ziploc it up, place it into my bag here that I'm going to be throwing away, and it works out very nicely. So now you see that we've cleaned the turkey out. I'm going to now place it into the larger baking pan that we're going to place into the oven. So we'll be right back. I placed the turkey into the larger baking pan, and I have placed 2 tablespoons of butter in the bottom of the pan. I'm now going to heat 2 additional tablespoons poured over the turkey, and then I'm going to put salt and pepper on it, and then we're going to place it into the oven for 350 for 3.5 to 4 hours. I had 1/4 cup of chicken broth left over from fixing the dressing, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use that. So what I did do is I have a 1/4 cup of chicken broth and 2 tablespoons of butter. I've heated that into the microwave, and now I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. I'm going to use the Morton grinders. I love these. If you've ever used these, you know how well they work, but if you haven't, you may want to try these. They're really, really nice. I love these. And I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper to the chicken broth and butter, and I'm going to pour this over the turkey. I have placed foil over the turkey, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and place it into the oven, 350 for 3.5 to 4 hours. I am going to check it after 2 hours, and then I'm going to make a brown sugar honey glaze that I'm going to place on top of the turkey, but I'm going to do that a little bit later. So I'm going to go ahead and place it into the oven, and I'm going to check it in 2 to 2.5 hours. The turkey's in the oven, and I wanted to note real quickly that the pan that I got this time doesn't have the handles on the side, but I did notice this year that there are some that have handles on the side that may be a little bit more secure. I did not get that one because I'm fine with this one, but just wanted to make a note of that. So right now, the oven's on 350, 2 to 2.5 hours, and we will be back. After 2 hours of cooking, I did take the turkey out of the oven, and I placed about 3 cups of chicken broth on top of it, and I placed it back in the oven, and we're going to continue cooking it for about 3 more hours. This is going to equal about 5 hours because I believe it needs a little bit more time. So it's going to be a total of 5 hours. So I'm going to be back in about 3 hours. Here's the turkey. We have it out of the oven. So what I'm going to do now is cut it and get it to where we can slice. The cleanup is very simple. I get a large garbage bag, and the original pan that we had the turkey in, I take that and everything that came out of the turkey, I place that into a Ziploc bag. I place the pan and the Ziploc bag into the garbage bag we have here, and then what I do is I clean the countertop really well with vinegar, and it's a very simple process. And maybe you can try this too. You may have an even simpler process, and if you do, please share with us. But that's the way I've done it through the years, just step by step. It's gotten a little bit easier, but that's my quick tips for fixing a turkey. So the turkey's in the oven right now, 2.5 hours. We're going to check it and we will be back. Another quick tip is, like I said before, I've got 3 sweet potatoes in the Power Pressure Cooker XL. This is just amazing for me. I don't know if I could do without this, but anyways, I've cooked them on the chicken setting, and what I'm going to do is take them out of here. I'm going to show you how easy this is. This year I did not even take the skin off the potatoes to begin with. I just said I'm just going to try it with the skin on in the Power Pressure Cooker XL. So let's see how this works out. Here is the first one. So what you can see is I'm going to take the skin off the potatoes very, very easy. This is so simple. I'm telling you, I'm all about simplifying this dinner. Thanksgiving and Christmas, usually I'm in the kitchen all day long and half the night. But this year, I'm trying to make things simpler, and I just want to try to do the same for you. So you can see, instead of spending time trying to take the skin off the potatoes and, you know, the next day your hand is hurting and all of this, look how easy this is. Power Pressure Cooker XL is just wonderful to use, and I will share a little bit later how I have cooked so far the entire Christmas dinner in the Power Pressure Cooker XL. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the skin off of all of these sweet potatoes real quickly, and we will be back. This is amazing, so much simpler. I am not going to peel another potato, sweet potato or regular potatoes again. With that little tool, you know what I'm talking about, that you go in and take the skin off the potatoes. Never again. I'm just going to put them into the Power Pressure Cooker XL, and I'm going to remove the potato skins like that from here on out. This is just way too simple. It's making my life a lot easier cooking this dinner. So what I'm going to do is I have placed the other 2 potatoes into the baking pan. I'm going to place this potato into the baking pan as well, and I'm going to go ahead and mix up the sweet potato mix, and we will be back. I have added the butter to the sweet potatoes. I'm using the Country Crock, and it's about 2 tablespoons, but I wanted to show you another little tool that is wonderful, and this is this little tool. I can't find these anymore. I mean, I've had this thing forever, but it is so easy. See, to chop the potatoes, you can use this, or you can use several other tools that you can mash the potatoes, but I'm going to go ahead and do this, and we'll be back. You can see I add a secret ingredients to the sweet potatoes. What I do is I mashed up the sweet potatoes, and I added cinnamon sugar, cinnamon, and of course you already saw where I added the butter, and I added just a little bit of brown sugar, and then look what I've added on top, the marshmallows. But there is a secret to this. I mix the marshmallows into the sweet potato casserole, and then once the potatoes are cooked, I then prepare a topping, and I'll show that topping to you a little bit later, but just wanted to share with you that there is a secret ingredient in my sweet potatoes, and that is the marshmallows. I wanted to add real quickly that if you do add the marshmallows on top of the sweet potato casserole, number 1, hide them, and number 2, the reason you want to cover them is because when you're cooking them, they will get more crisp on top, and that's not really what you want. You want them inside of the casserole, so that adds a little bit of sweetness, because there's going to be marshmallows on the top when we finish the casserole. So I just wanted to add that. You just want to hide them so that when you place them in an oven, and cook the casserole, the marshmallows are going to melt. So we will be back. Now I'm making the topping for the sweet potato casserole. I've used a cup of butter, and that's melted, and 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. The butter that I'm using is the Country Crock, and also I'm going to add the honey bunches of oats with almonds. And depending on the size of sweet potato casserole you have, you want to use enough that the cereal here expands the entire casserole. And then I'm going to top the casserole with marshmallows. And there again, depending on how large your casserole is, you want to place marshmallows all over it. And then I'm going to use about a cup of pecan pieces, and I use the ones from Trader Joe's. There's unsalted and toasted. So I'm going to add all of these together into the butter, and I will show you how it looks when we're finished. Since I'm making such a very large sweet potato casserole, you'll see here it's fairly large. What I did was I just took the butter, 1 cup of butter, and the 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, and I mixed that together, and then I took about 2 tablespoons of pecan pieces, and I placed that into the butter and brown sugar, stirred it up. Now I'm going to take this and place it on top of the sweet potato casserole. So you can see here how I spread it across the entire casserole. You want every section of the casserole covered. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the cereal and place that on top of this. And with the cereal, what I do is I just pour it on top of the casserole. And there again, if you've got a small casserole, you just pour enough for a small one. This one's a large one. So I just pour the cereal in the middle, and then I just spread it across the casserole. And then I just continue to use enough cereal to where it covers the entire top of the casserole. Okay, I've got the cereal all the way across the casserole. And what I like to do is just press it down lightly into the casserole, the cereal. And I just do this all the way across. Next what we're going to do is add the marshmallows. So that'll be our next step. This is what the casserole looks like before I add all the marshmallows. And there again, you want to use enough marshmallows that it covers the entire casserole. You will notice I added a little bit more pecans on this one. So that's your choice. If you'd like to add more, that's fine. If not, that's fine. So now we're going to add the marshmallows. Now I've added the marshmallows on top of the sweet potato casserole. I will place this back into the oven for about 10 minutes, because what I want to do is I want all the marshmallows to melt, and then what I'll do is I'll take everything out of the oven, place it on broil for just a few minutes, and just to get the top a little bit crispy. So we're going to do that now. I am starting to cook the mashed potatoes. I have placed 7 small potatoes into the Power Pressure Cooker XL. We're also going to place this on the chicken meat selection, and that will cook. And we're going to try again with the skin on the potatoes this time instead of taking the skin off. The sweet potatoes were so easy. I'm going to do this also with these potatoes, and we will be back. Okay, the potatoes have cooked on the chicken meat setting. I'm going to take them out. I'm going to show you how easy these are to peel. Okay, I've got the potatoes all peeled. I added 2 tablespoons of butter. I'm going to add just a little bit of the Campbell's chicken broth soup, and I've got just a little bit of celery I'm going to add to the creamed potatoes, and I'm going to go ahead and mix this up now. I'm also making squash, so I've taken 3 squash, I've cut them up, you can see here, and I'm also going to put these in the Power Pressure Cooker XL, and I'm going to place it on the rice setting, but I'm going to leave the lid off of it, and I'm just going to stir it up. I've got 2 tablespoons of butter, about a cup of the unsalted chicken broth. If there's a good tip here, if you want to use something other than water, you can use the unsalted chicken broth. It's just as good. It's just a tad of a flavor. It doesn't really put a chicken broth flavor to your food. It's just a little bit more of a flavor than water. It makes it really, really good. But I'm going to cook this, and then I'm going to make a squash casserole. I want to show you real quickly, if you're questioning about cooking in the Power Pressure Cooker XL on the rice setting for the squash, or anything else that you just want to boil without turning your stove top on, this is how it is. It's really good. It's just like putting it on the stove top. just leave the lid off, put it in the rice setting, and then you can cook whatever you would like in the Power Pressure Cooker XL. I also did my cranberry sauce like this. I put a bag of cranberries, 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of water, and this is exactly the way I fixed the cranberry sauce for this year. And I'll show you that later on in the video. But this is the way it is when you're cooking the squash or anything else that you want to cook on the rice setting in the Power Pressure Cooker XL without the lid on. The cranberry sauce, I added a bag of the cranberries and 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of water to the Power Pressure Cooker XL. I put the setting on rice and I just cooked them with the lid off, and it worked out very, very nicely. And that is how I cooked the cranberry sauce for this year. Squash casserole, I took 3 squash, placed them into the Power Pressure Cooker XL. On the rice setting, I just boiled them just a little bit and then added a little bit of butter and then drained them, and then I put about 20 crackers in them, stirred them up with the butter. They were very, very good. You can add cheese if you would like and an egg, place it into the oven and cook them for about 30 minutes on 350, but this time I just had the squash, the crackers, and the butter. For the sweet potato casserole, I placed the 3 sweet potatoes into the Power Pressure Cooker XL, placed it on the chicken meat setting and cooked them, and then once they were done, took them out and they were easy to peel, and then we had the remainder of the recipe earlier in the video. For the mashed potatoes, I placed the potatoes into the Power Pressure Cooker XL, placed them on the chicken meat setting, cooked them, and they were very easy to peel, and then I mashed them and just added a little bit of butter, and I did add a little bit of celery to these, and they were so yummy. The stuffing was very easy to make. I placed a bag of stuffing into a casserole dish. I added chicken broth and cream of mushroom soup and celery. The eggs I cooked in the Power Pressure Cooker XL. Once they were done, took them out and placed them into cold water for about 5 minutes, and they were very easy to peel. The gravy was very easy to make as well. I added chicken broth, cream of mushroom soup with some celery and eggs, and again the eggs were cooked in the Power Pressure Cooker XL on the rice setting. Once they were done, took them out, placed them in cold water, and they were able to shell very quickly. The Power Pressure Cooker XL made cooking Christmas dinner so easy this year. I did not use the stovetop at all. I only used the Power Pressure Cooker XL and the oven. Made it very, very easy. So thanks everyone for visiting BistroBuzz TV. Please like and subscribe and come back to visit us again soon. Thank you.